In this video, we're going to be taking a look at creating another logo from scratch. And this video is for Ashley. She is a former Arkansas girl, and she, I think, just recently moved to Oklahoma, and she is looking to do an OU logo. So let's go ahead and take a look at Google Images and look for an OU logo, and yeah, this one will do. So we're gonna save image to the desktop and go back to CorelDRAW, and we're going to drag and drop the OU logo right here um, into CorelDRAW. Now this logo is a very easy logo to do. Um, so because basically when I look at this logo, what I see two squares. Now I realize that most people don't see two squares, they see an O and a U, but in my mind it's really just two squares. So let me show you how easy it is to create this logo. Now first of all, this logo came to us, this was actually an SVG, and so it comes to us in a vector format, and I almost never work in a vector format. So the first thing I'm going to do is convert my vector to bitmap. I know that sounds backwards, but it's what it's got to be. So let's ungroup it. Go to, and we'll come back in here. Let's see here. What's happened here? Something, oh, it's locked. The SVGs come in sometimes kind of weird. I don't understand all of it, to be honest with you. But now I can convert to bitmap. So all I did was right click on it and choose unlock. You can see this says a locked SVG data. I don't know what that is. But at any rate, we're going to convert it to a bitmap. And if we go back, we'll just accept the defaults. If we go back into wireframe mode, you can see it's kind of ghosted now, and it's no longer a vector file. And as I said, I realize that's completely backwards to what you're taught, but it's what I find works the best for me. All right, so again, just like you've probably seen in previous videos, the first thing to do is set the size of our design. So we're going to click on set size. In this case, we want big. We want big, big, big. We're going to go 14 inches tall. I don't know. Let's do, you know what, for the heck of it, let's do 16. It doesn't really matter. We're going to do a big, big design. So we'll go 16. I would like to verify how wide this is, and you can see it's under 12 inches, which this will actually look really nice on the back of a sweatshirt. It's a nice big design, 16 inches tall, 12 inches wide. Now, because we're doing a big design like this, I would use SS16 stones. Obviously, you don't have to. You can use whatever size stones you want, but I would use SS16s, so that's what I'm going to do. So what we're going to do here is we're just going to, really all we need to do is do the O, because the U is the same as the O. Okay, so we'll do the O, and the U will just happen all by itself. So first things first, let's go to the Specialty tab and lock our image so we can't move it. Let's change our stone size to SS16 stones, which it already is. Let's pick a stone color that we can see on top of red, such as crystal, which we already have. And then we're going to go to the stone tab and hit drop stone. And I don't care where, just drop a stone and hit the escape key. Now you can see even with SS16 stones, you can see this is absolutely dwarfed compared to the overall design. So it's going to take lots of SS16 stones. So what I'm going to do here, just for guidance, I'm just going to pull a guideline there and move this stone right there at that corner. You wouldn't have to do it that way. And I'm actually going to pull down a guideline here too. Again, you don't have to do things this way. This is just what I'm doing just for my own idea here. So we're going to go to the stone fill tab, and let's offset this stone like 100 times vertically. And you can see we get this, well, I guess 100 times was a bit extreme. So we'll trim it back down. But that's the whole concept there. All right, so now we've done that. Now let's take this and let's offset it, I don't know, 50 times, go in the other direction. So you can see we can create this kind of grid effect very, very quickly and easily. And so now all we're going to do is we're going to select this stone, and watch this. we're going to select this one and hit S. And what that does is it selects everything in between. And we got that one too. And this one too. And this one too. And this one. And this one. And this one. Let's see here. Well, I guess actually we want all of those. Do we want all those? I don't know. Let's just delete a couple here so I can see what I actually want to do here. Let's try deleting like that. There we go. That looks good. So we can actually trim away those, and then we'll grab our freehand selection tool here in CorelDRAW, and we can get rid of these. So then what we need to do is we basically need to do the same thing on this side. All right, so we just need to come in here, and we just need to delete like so. Grab our freehand selection tool and get rid of those. All right, so now you can kind of see what we've got going on here. And then what we're going to do is we want this to be symmetrical. And so we may have to add a stone or subtract a stone, but let's just do some math here. So we've got 1, 2, 3, we'll call it 4 there. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 there. All right, so that we can leave. I think we'll just leave it like that. So let's just try this and you'll see what I mean. So we're deleted those 4, and we're going to delete these 4. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4. So now what we want to see is how many stones wide this is. So we're just going to come in here and make a selection using our regular rectangular selection tool. And if you look down here, it's 11 stones. And I want the same distance here. 11 stones. Hey, that worked out. That's a miracle. And here, 11 stones. And then vertically, it's more than 11. You can see that, but that's okay. All right, so now what we need to do is just delete the stones that we don't need. And so we're just going to come in here and delete these extra stones there. And we're going to delete the extra stones here. So we're going to like that, okay? And then basically we want to do the same thing up top here that we did at the bottom. So we're just going to come in here, select these stones and delete them. Grab our freehand pick tool. We'll delete those. Come back over here. Same thing. We'll just delete these stones that we don't need. Freehand pick tool. Get rid of those and that one. And then all we're going to do is kind of the same thing. We're just going to come in here and we're going to delete the stones that we don't need. I'm going to select this one and let's see how far do we, I guess we want to go all the way to there. And we'll hit delete. And we'll delete this one and this one. We'll come down here, select those two, hit S for selection. Then we can delete. S for selection. Then we can delete. And all we're doing right now is we're making like this channel, if you will, all the way around. So we're going to select and delete. Select and delete. And then once we have that, then we can come in with our regular selection tool here and we can very quickly, because we have this channel to work in, we can delete the stones that we don't need. There we go. Okay, so that takes care of that part of the design. Now remember I said that the O and the U are quite similar. So now we've done all this work here with our O, we should be able to just to come in here and copy this down. And exactly where we copy it to, well, we should be able to get it pretty spot on here. Something to that effect. You can see there. So that's copied. And then all we're going to do is take these stones and offset them up and up, trim off the excess. And then here, same thing. Let's go ahead and right click on EG to get rid of our guidelines because we don't need those anymore. Go back and delete those. Let's go ahead and switch to our regular pick tool. And we'll delete those. We'll delete those. We'll delete these and these and these and these. So that takes care of the OU portion of the design. Now let's go ahead and peel this away. There is our finished logo. Now we do have a lot of overlapping stones on top of one another, so we will come in here and we'll hit check spacing. That will delete all of those overlapping stones. There are 2,800 stones in this design, so remember, it's a big, flashy design. So should be kind of fun. There's 234 overlapping stones, and we do need a little bit of repair work here because something isn't quite exactly right. So I have to look and see what is the issue. I think we'll just need to do that. So this corner is the same as this one. If in fact, if I pull this over, yeah, see how that lines up right there? So that is exactly what we need. Then we'll just switch those out to light cyan and change those stones out, make them all light cyan. In the process of changing this stone color, it does a lot of analysis to make sure that they're all perfect circles and all this. But it will go ahead and add a weed box around this. And there is the finished OU design. Now, if we wanted to, just to add a little visual interest, we could come in here and go selection, change it to crystal. So you see that? So if you want to come in here, selection, change to crystal. And actually, I think that will make for a better looking design anyhow. So let's just do it quick. We'll do selection, change to crystal. And all we're doing is we're selecting one stone, holding the shift key down, selecting another, and then clicking on our crystal quick select color button. So we'll do selection, crystal, and then we'll do selection, crystal, all the way around the whole design. Takes a little bit of work, but it's definitely better than doing it all manually. So selection, crystal, selection, crystal, all the way back up to the top, selection, crystal. And even though it's a little bit of work to change these all out to crystal, I think it's worth it. And just like we did with, if you watch the video on the Arkansas A, we could definitely use the draw line tool to create all these straight line segments. And then we could do a glitter fill insert. And then we could just do the outside in stones and do the insert in glitter. And that would be a lot more cost-effective design probably than doing all these SS16 stones. When you're doing a large design, that may be a better solution. If I were going to do that, with this large of a design, I might even use some SS20 stones or maybe even SS30s. It just kind of depends on how much bang factor you want to have. But those SS20s and 30s definitely have their place as well, especially on a really big design like this. It could look really nice on the back of a sweatshirt or back of a jacket. Usually we don't use those giant stones on t-shirts just because they're, big heavy stones and there's a lot of them. So, it's whatever you want to do. But you can see here what we're doing, making those selections. And all it's doing is just selecting those stones that are in that straight line path, switching them all out to crystal. All right, so now, there we go. So there is the finished project, and I think it looks really good. and it's really gigantic and it should really sparkle. Now, if you want to just real quick show you how to go about making a template for this design, because they're all SS20 stones, we'd have to do 2 templates. So we'll select the entire design. We'll go over here to the export vector file function, and what we're going to do is we're going to throw 2 templates, one cyan, one crystal, and we'll choose the combo option. And let's just export, rather than actually export a file, you could export to SVG. You can also direct export to your Silhouette Cameo Cutter if you have the Silhouette Connect software, which is a separate plugin for CorelDRAW to send the file directly to your Silhouette Cameo Cutter. But what we're going to do is just export it to the CorelDRAW document itself. So we just choose Export Files, and all it will do is it will create our 2 separate templates for us right here inside CorelDRAW. So there are our 2 templates. You can see here the light cyan and the separate crystal template that we could then import to your cutting software to actually send to the cutter and cut. So you can see, spent about 10 or 15 minutes on this design as well, and it looks perfect, and it's really simple and easy to do using just a couple of the features here inside EasyStone. So hopefully, Ashley, that helps you better understand how to create this OU logo. And the rest of you, hopefully that just gives you another insight how to tackle these designs without the vector artwork, because most of the time we're not going to have the advantage of the vector artwork, and I actually think you can produce a better design without the vector artwork, and that's why almost universally, almost every situation, we would always convert to Bitmap before um, creating a rhinestone design. So again, thanks for watching.